I'm Leon Todd for G66. Welcome to another Tuesday Tone Tip. Today I want to answer a question that occurs fairly regularly when talking about routing effects in the Axe effects, the FM9 and the FM3, and that is when and why you should use parallel effects routing. To do this, I want to take a look at three different ways we can organize a delay and a reverb block on the Axe effects FM9 or FM3. You'll see from the preset that I have up here, at the moment, I just have a compressor, the band commander amp model engaged, and my go-to cabinet IR. So this is just a totally clean sound. But you'll notice there's two reverb blocks and two delay blocks. And this reverb block down here is branching off in parallel to the main chain. So we're gonna hear delay into reverb, reverb into delay, and then delay in parallel to reverb. Before we get started, let's just have a listen to the clean sound. I'm using the Studio Feedback Compressor number 1 for quite a bit of squish on this clean tone with my Strat. Pretty straightforward clean sound right there. I'm going to engage this delay. It's a dual delay with a quarter note and a dotted eighth note on each side of the stereo spectrum and the mix quite high. This is the delay on its own. Okay, kind of crusty sounding delay there, just the way I like it. And then we've got the concert hall reverb set up for 4 seconds of reverb. What I've done is I've simply copied this delay block over here. So this is exactly the same delay. And then I've copied this reverb, but routed it in parallel to this main delay here. So the mix is at 100%, the level is at 0, and I've set the bypass mode to mute in. This reverb is now mixed in 50-50 with the dry signal, and it sounds exactly the same. Very, very nice. So we've done our basic setup. Let's have a listen to delay into reverb. And what I want you to pay attention to is the way the reverb affects the delay trails on here. So you notice without the reverb, obviously there's no glorious lush reverb on there, but you can hear more of the delay repeats as they fade out. So the reverb is basically catching those end trails and just washing them out completely. So it makes the delay a little more subtle. We get a glorious lush reverb, but the payoff is that our delays are not as pronounced. So let's try the opposite routing. Let's try reverb into delay. Check it out. Now, those delay trails are more pronounced, but it's the opposite effect now. The reverb now is kind of getting scattered around, and you don't get that really lovely natural decay on there, again, because a lot of the reverb is getting picked up and bounced around by those dual delays. Let's have a listen to parallel now. So I'm routing the delay and the reverb in parallel. They're not interacting with one another. And the result, as you'll hear, is you get all of your delay trails, but you also get all of the reverb tail on there. Now, a lot of people would characterize that, I guess, as being cleaner and as being maybe a little more precise. Like I said, your delay trails aren't getting washed out and your reverb is still intact without any kind of stereo effects or kind of changes to the tail in there. So let's just quickly hear all three back to back with a single chord. So the changes there are very subtle, and realistically, if you're routing your delay and reverb in series, or you're routing reverb into delay, or you're routing them in parallel, and you like the way they sound, that's really all that matters. There are several ways in the Axe effects to get the result that you want. However, if you're experiencing things like your delays are kind of getting washed out with a big reverb, or you're routing reverb into delay and you're not really happy with the results, try them in parallel. It can be a great way to, I guess, have fine-grained control over the individual parameters in there. That's why I like routing a lot of blocks in parallel. It just makes things easier to kind of isolate if there's problems that I have, and then get those particular sounds or blocks dialed in the way that I like them. Let's hear the same example now. I've got the same delay, the dual delay, just with less mix, but I'm running it into the Recording Studio C reverb, and I've got a bunch of distortion from the Mark IV model. We'll do the same thing. I'll just play some lead stuff and try to play the same thing. We'll hear delay into reverb, reverb into delay, and then in parallel. Again, there is no better sound there. I think each of those have their own character. Delay into reverb in series is probably the sound most of us are used to, but reverb into delay, I think, has a lot of character, and I've seen that the delay into reverb thing is used by most people, but if you're getting sick of that particular sound or you just want something slightly different, try and place your reverb before your delay. It's a really cool way to just get a slightly different, subtle character, and then running them in parallel, like I said earlier, just gives you a little bit more control over the individual components in this big tone chocolate mud cake that we've got dialed up here. So if you have any other questions, please let me know in the comments section below. And if you have suggestions for future Tuesday Tone Tip videos, also let me know in the comments. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.